YouTube, man? It's your boy, Chick Willie Silly, man, aka Mr. Take It Easy. Play you end up like VZ. But make sure I follow my Instagram and Twitch in the description down below. And like I said, man, they ain't believing me, but God did, you know what I'm saying? But like I said, man, second channel, gaming channel, 305, man. Y'all give me the 500 subscribers, man. You know what I'm saying? Before, give me the 500 subscribers, you feel me, before July. You feel me? I feel like we can do that, y'all. I feel like, you know, we can get 500 subscribers before July. You know what I mean? 303, man. I got that in like, I ain't gonna lie, I got that in like what? You know what I mean? Like freaking, I got that in like 6 days, man. Like 6 days, bro. So, hey, man, like at the end of the day, I didn't get in like 6 days. How long it took me to get 303? I ain't gonna lie to you. How long it took me to get 303 subscribers? It took me like at least 10 days. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, hey, at the end of the day, you know, gaming channel, if you like the game, and if y'all didn't, bro, honestly, if you don't know what you're gonna get in store, go to my gaming playlist section on this channel, bro, and all the games that I've have uploaded, bro, is right there, bro. You're gonna see how good it is, you know what I'm saying? So I appreciate all that. But we got 3 disturbing, true, you know what I'm saying, stories where police couldn't help. You know what I mean? If y'all do want to go see all my scare reactions too, bro, I got over close to 200 scare reaction videos, bro, if y'all want to go see that, you know. When the police don't help, horror stories. I do not care about the OTAs, bro. Stop asking me to react to your OTA. I don't care. I'm not reacting to Ravens OTAs, bro. Please stop spamming me, bro. Keep spamming me, bro. It's gonna be a dang problem. I'm not reacting to your sorry Ravens OTAs, bro. That's it. That's it in this song. Did I do thumbnail time? Bro, I ain't gonna cap, bro. I don't know what this world would be without police. And that's one thing I'm gonna say, bro. For any police officer, bro, that's watching this video, bro, I thank you for your service. You know what I mean? You put your life on the line every single day. You know what I mean? These people that's talking about they hate police officers, I don't hate y'all, bro. I'm glad y'all here. You know what I'm saying? Just keeping it real with you. Because without y'all, it's chaos. You know what I mean? So y'all the reason why people think twice before doing crime. You know what I mean? So I appreciate y'all police officers, man. Keep doing y'all job. Just don't think everybody hates y'all, man. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got no problem with y'all. I met a lot of cool cops. You know what I'm saying?
This happened in the fall of 2021 when I was living alone in a rented townhouse in southern Illinois. It was my first time ever living by myself, and even though I was technically an adult, 27, with a full-time job and a stable routine, I still had a lot of nerves about the idea. I'd just gone through a rough breakup, and I thought the silence and solitude might help me process everything. The townhouse was part of a small row of identical units, kind of plain but clean and quiet, tucked away in a sleepy cul-de-sac just off a rural highway. The neighborhood had that sterile suburban vibe. Lots of beige vinyl siding, trimmed hedges, wind chimes, and mailboxes with family names stenciled on them. Mostly older folk, but a few young families. I didn't know any of my neighbors well, but I liked it that way. I kept to myself. But almost right away,
straight up, bro,
just one person who stood out from the rest. He lived 3 doors down. A tall, heavy-set man, probably in his mid-40s, with a scruffy beard and a weird habit of standing outside his house at night, sometimes just pacing or smoking, sometimes doing nothing at all, just staring.
I ain't gonna cap, bro. That's what I be doing. I ain't gonna lie, like, bro, I be watching. One thing about me, y'all, bro, I am a people watcher. I'm a watcher in general. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like sometimes, bro, I just, like in my house, bro, I just be looking outside, bro, just to see. Is there anybody walking outside? Is there anybody trying to rob? Like, I'm always looking, bro. I'm always looking. You know? 1 o'clock a.m., 2 o'clock a.m., I don't care. I'm always looking. Simple as that.
I'd pull into my driveway after work around 9 or 10 p.m., and there he'd be, leaning against his porch rail or just standing at the edge of his driveway facing the street. He never waved, never smiled. He just stared. Even if I looked directly at him, I tried to ignore it. A couple of times I mentioned it to friends or my mom, and they said maybe he was just a night owl or had insomnia, but there was something unsettling about him, like he was always watching but never participating. It wasn't just that he was there, it was the stillness. He didn't fidget or check his phone or shift his weight. He just stood there like a statue. I told myself not to be paranoid, but the more time passed, the more that gnawing feeling in my gut grew. Then the noises started. It was around mid-September when I first heard it. I had just gotten home from work after a long shift. I worked late hours managing inventory at a distribution center, and I usually got in around 10:30 p.m., exhausted, grabbing a bite to eat, and crashing. That night, I fell asleep around midnight. At exactly 2:37 a.m., I woke up to a sound I can only describe as metal scraping against wood. At first, I thought I had dreamed it, but then I heard it again. A long, slow creaking noise, like an old gate opening. My bedroom was on the first floor, at the back of the unit, and I had a sliding glass door with vertical blinds that led to a small, fenced-in backyard. I sat up in bed, heart racing, and listened. There was a pause, then I heard footsteps, soft crunching sounds like someone walking slowly across gravel. My entire backyard was lined with decorative rock instead of grass, so you could hear every footstep clearly. These weren't animal sounds. I grabbed my phone and crept out of bed. I didn't have a weapon, just a dull kitchen knife I kept in my nightstand, just in case, which at the time felt kind of ridiculous. I crouched by the edge of the window and peeked through the blinds. I couldn't see anything. The motion light wasn't on, which meant either they were out of range or had come in a different way. I dialed 911. The dispatcher was calm, asked for my address, and told me officers were en route. I stayed crouched in the dark, barely breathing. About 10 minutes later, red and blue lights flickered through my front window. I got up, opened the door, and met the two officers outside. I explained everything, what I heard, what time it started. One of them walked around the back while the other stayed with me and asked a few questions. The officer in the yard came back and said the gate was closed and there were no signs of tampering, but said he'd write up a report just in case. They didn't see anyone. No footprints or damage. Basically no crime. One of them actually said, probably just a raccoon, and gave me a look that clearly said, "You're wasting our time."
I'm tired of all this. Probably just a raccoon, and maybe he's a night owl and all that. You know what you freaking heard, bro. You know what I'm saying? And like I say, bro, it's no reason of calling the cops. It's no reason, bro. If you don't hear any noises anymore, the dude then walked away. You know what I mean? It's just, you feel me? It's, you know what I mean? It's pointless. And the thing is, you already know my mind going back to old dude. I'm going to keep it real with you, bro. I'm going to let you know I don't play. You know what I mean? I'm going to make sure you see the gun and everything. I'm going to keep it G with you, bro. I'm going to stay you down, bro. I'm going to keep it real with you, bro. If you get me off this weird vibe, bro, I'm going to let you know, like, okay, you play with Jay, it's going to go down. You know what I mean? You play with Jay, it's going to go that way. So don't even think about coming over here to this house. You know what I'm saying? You got to set that vibe with these niggas right here. I ain't going to cap. You know, because when it come to bad people, bro, people that got ill intentions, bro, you know what I mean? You got to show them like, yeah, I'm like that too. You like that, I'm like that too, though. Stay right in your eyes. Walking upright. You feel me? That's why I say with me, when I'm in public, I'm never doing this. I'm never distracted with my phone. I'm never on my phone in public. I ain't going to lie. I ain't going to cap. I don't know how people do that. I never look at my phone when I'm in public. I never, bro. Seeing people head being down all on their phone, so unaware of their surroundings. Those are people that get kidnapped. Those are people that get killed. For me, I look you dead in your eye. When I walk right past you, I'm walking. I'm not looking at my phone. You know how you walk right past somebody, bro, and the first thing they do, they look at their phone. You know what I mean? Knowing dang well you're not looking at nothing. You know what I mean? I'm not looking at my phone. I'm one of the folks that I walk right past you and I look at you, bro, and I keep walking. I ain't finna drop my head and nothing. I'm finna let you know, yeah, I see you. I see you. You feel me? Straight up. I ain't finna. I be hating when people do that. Why y'all do that? You know what I'm saying? When y'all walk past like a group of people, it'll be a group of dudes, group of girls. You look into your phone knowing dang well, bro, you know, you looking at a weather app. You're not looking at nothing. I never understood that, man. I ain't finna look down or nothing. I'm looking at every single one of y'all in that group. Every single one of y'all. You feel me? With my head held high.
Didn't argue. They left after
I don't drop my head for nobody, bro.
I didn't sleep the rest of that night. The next morning, I went outside to check the backyard myself.
You walk backwards staring at them? Bro, shut up.
Sleep the rest of that night.
Now you're just a weirdo.
The next morning, I went outside to check the backyard myself. That's when I noticed something strange. There was a flat stone.
You said because it'd be awkward? You know what I'm saying? It's not awkward. You know what I'm saying? Just keeping it real with you. Hey, Jay Havin, bro. I'm gonna keep it real with you, Jay Havin, bro. I'm finna ban you in a minute. You know what I mean? But anyways, bro, you know what I'm saying? What you mean I should turn my back from danger? What are you talking about? I'm talking about, bro, we're walking in public, bro, and we're walking how people walk, and I'm walking, you walking, I make eye contact with you and keep walking. I'm not finna. Now you just a weirdo. I seen you. I ain't gotta walk back like, you know what I'm saying? And now you just weird, bro. You know what I'm saying? Just keeping it real with you, bro. Like, now you just weird. And it don't be awkward. You know what I'm saying? I just look everybody straight in the eyes. I don't know. I like eye contact. It's just me. I like eye contact, bro. Like when I'm talking to somebody, bro, it makes somebody very uncomfortable, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's why when I be telling you, I be like, look at me. I like looking in people's eyes, bro. I ain't gonna lie. You feel me? Bro, I look people dead in the eye. When you talking to me, bro, I will not drop my head, bro. I will look you dead in your freaking eyes, bro. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna lie. People talking to me, I can tell people get nervous talking to me. They be looking around. I just continue looking at you. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna drop my eyes until we done talking. Simple as that.
Size of a paperback book.
I kind of look at it like it's a sense of respect. I don't even be trying to intimidate you. I just, you know, I look at it like respect, like you got my full undivided attention. And then second of all, nigga, I don't even know you. It don't matter if I know you, though. I just, you know, look, I just eye contact. You know what
Wedged under the bottom edge of the wooden fence gate. I had
just look at your eyes, bro.
The gate had a heavy spring that made it swing closed automatically.
Let you know how freaking mean business.
The stone looked like it had been placed there specifically to stop it from closing all the way. It was subtle, like something someone would do if they wanted to come back later and slip in without making noise. I picked up the rock and tossed it across the yard. I called the police again and told them what I'd found. They told me they'd note it in the report, but again said there wasn't much they could do. I asked if they could talk to any of the neighbors or check for cameras. They said no, unless a crime was committed, they couldn't investigate. I felt like I was losing my mind. 2 nights later, it escalated. At exactly 2:14 a.m., I woke up again, this time to the sound of my back door handle turning. The handle rattled gently at first, like someone testing it, then a harder jiggle, like someone trying to open it. I sat up in bed, heart hammering. I couldn't see anything through the blinds, but I could feel someone standing on the other side. My mouth went dry. I picked up my phone with shaking hands and called the police again. While I waited, I crouched in the hallway out of view. I didn't have a gun or dog, just that stupid kitchen knife. My motion light clicked on, and through a tiny gap in the blinds, I saw a shadow move across the window. It was a man. He didn't run or try to hide. He just stood there. The same 2 officers showed up again. This time, they actually found footprints in the gravel, big ones, heading right up to the door. But again, they said since no entry had been made, there wasn't enough to go on. They promised to patrol the area more often and told me to keep my doors locked. The next day, I installed a camera. It was one of those mid-range Wi-Fi security cams. I set one up above the back door and another above the front porch. That night, I didn't go to bed. I sat in the living room with the lights off, watching the live feed on my phone. 2:14 a.m. came and went. Nothing happened. Then, at 2:23, the back camera triggered. A man stepped into frame. He walked in through the gate like he knew exactly how to move to avoid the motion sensor until the last second. He was tall and broad, wearing a black hoodie with the hood up, jeans, and gloves. He walked up to the door, looked up directly at the camera, and smiled. A slow, stretched out grin. Then he backed up, still staring, and disappeared into the dark. I called the police again, and they came back, watched the clip, and admitted that yes, it was unsettling. But since he didn't break in, didn't damage property, and didn't appear to be armed, there was still allegedly nothing they could do. They wouldn't even ask the guy down the street to check his doorbell cam.
That's just how it is, bro. That's how it is. But that's trespassing, right? It's not trespassing. Like, what are you talking about? Is that not a crime? I'll be saying, bro, like police officers, bro, some police officers, bro, just don't want to do their job. There's nothing they can do. Nigga trespassing. Nigga, that is trespassing. What are you talking about? Nigga on the nigga property. I mean, that's a crime being committed. Nigga is trespassing. What the freak are you talking about? Nothing you can do. Nigga, you can do something about that for sure you can. You know what I'm saying? Niggas on my property. What the freak you mean, nigga? No matter if that nigga ain't breaking, nigga is trespassing. Nigga is on my property without my permission. The freak do you mean? You know what I mean? But they don't care until you die, though. You know what I mean? You know how it is with some cops. Some cops don't care until you're dead. Now when you're dead, now they want to investigate the murders. Like, dang, nigga. Nigga called you like 3 times. You ain't did nothing about it. You know what I'm saying? Now since I'm dead, now you want to investigate. It's too late now, nigga.
I begged them. They said their hands were tied.
See?
That night, I packed a bag and slept at a hotel. When I came back the next day, I found 4 muddy handprints on the glass door. 2 high up and 2 low, like someone had crouched down and just rested their hands there for a while, staring in. I moved out a week later. I broke my lease and forfeited my deposit. I didn't care. I couldn't stay there another night. The final straw was the note I found wedged in my mailbox the day I left. It was handwritten in small cramped letters on lined notebook paper. It said, "The cops leave, but I don't." I filed one last report. The officer I spoke to that time looked genuinely disturbed by the note. He promised they'd do a wellness check on the neighborhood, but it was too late. I never went back. About a month later, I got a message on Facebook from a girl named Kayla. She said she was the new tenant who had moved into the unit after me.
Don't.
Her message said, "Hi, sorry to bother you. I think you used to live here. Did you ever have someone in a black hoodie hanging around the backyard? I keep hearing footsteps at night, and last night, someone knocked on the glass door around 2 a.m. and just stood there." I didn't reply.
Why?
I didn't want to know what happened next.
Should have replied to her, bro. Should have replied to her, man. Heck no. Why would you not say nothing?
I work for a property preservation company.
Free, bro.
Basically, we handle...
You want somebody to do that to you? You know what I'm saying? You scared at your mind. You forgot you was the one scared. You scared at your damn mind. You know what I'm saying? Why would you not reply, bro? You know what I'm saying? Knowing you went through the same problem. Knowing you went through the same situation. You feel me?
Homes, securing them, cleaning them out, winterizing them, sometimes even boarding them up if there's been vandalism. It's not glamorous work, but it pays well.
Say, yo, you trying to be on the E-date to compete for the fine? I'm not trying to be on no E-date. You know what I'm saying? You must don't know who I am. You know what I'm saying? Yo, you trying to be on the E-date to compete for fine? I'm not finna compete for no girl, first of all. I'm a real nigga, bro, so I don't know where you at. You know what I'm saying? You need to go to them other streams. I ain't gonna lie, I'm a real nigga. I don't compete for no fees.
And for the most part, it's
quiet. For some fun.
You spend a lot of time alone in houses that used to belong to people who are long gone. Sometimes it's sad, sometimes it's just boring. But every once in a while, you get a house that feels unsettling. This happened in 2020 when I was assigned to clear out a property in a rural part of upstate New York. It was one of those dying places, only one gas station, half the businesses shuttered, roads cracked and overgrown. The house itself was a small, one-story place off a dirt road.
See, we ain't doing that.
Overgrown brush and woods on 3 sides. No other homes nearby, just trees and silence. According to the file, the house had been foreclosed after the owner, an elderly woman, passed away, and the heirs had stepped forward to claim the estate. The utilities had been shut off for over a year. Our job was to catalog any remaining property, empty it out, and secure it for winter. I drove up on a Monday morning around 9 a.m. with a small box truck and all my gear. From the outside, the house looked intact. Windows closed.
This looked like intact?
Roof fine. Just a lot of weeds and vines climbing up the porch. I had to shove the front door open because it had swollen in the frame, but once inside, everything looked pretty standard. It was dusty, stale air and faded furniture. Then my work phone rang. It startled me because I had no signal out there. I'd already checked and noticed I had no bars, but the phone buzzed anyway. There was no number on the caller ID. It just said unknown caller. I answered, and there was nothing. Just a low crackling sound, like static. I said hello twice, then hung up, chalked it up to a glitch. I got to work. I always start with photos, documenting every room, every item. The living room was cluttered with old furniture, lace curtains, some framed paintings.
This house stole me off.
Grandma's house. Heavy furniture.
Told y'all, somebody at grandma's house, y'all. Somebody at grandma's house. Something about grandma's house, y'all. I'm telling y'all, it's something about grandma's house. I wasn't staying over grandma's house, bro. I couldn't stand going over my grandma dear house, bro. My grandma Ruby house, I could not stand that junk, bro. Something about that grandma house, man. You got the little creepy old piano. It's just old folks home, man. Just creep me out. I ain't gonna count. Nah, I mean, especially, bro, my grandma Ruby room, bro. Nah, I mean, we got kicked out of the hotel, bro. You know what I'm saying? Had to go stay on my grandma Ruby, bro. Them little dolls in her room, bro. Heck no. And it be cold up in there, too. To my extra cold. You feel me?
Doilies.
Be that creepy cold. You know what I'm saying?
Porcelain figures. The hallway had a smell. Not rot, more like mildew and dust, and something faintly metallic. There were 3 bedrooms. One had been stripped bare except for a sagging mattress on the floor. Another was clearly a sewing room, with thread spools everywhere and a dusty machine on the desk. I took a closer look, and there was a corkboard filled with old newspaper clippings. They were mostly obituaries. Dozens of them, all clipped out with scissors and pinned carefully to the board.
Obituaries?
No names I recognized, all local. I moved on. In the master bedroom, there was a rotary phone on the nightstand. I remember stopping and staring at it for a second because I hadn't seen one in years. It was off-white, yellowed with age, with a long coiled cord. The kind of phone that would never ring again because the line had been cut long ago.
I've never seen them type of phone.
Moved on to the bathroom. That's when my phone rang again.
You say you ain't got no service. That's the most creepiest thing about this. She ain't got no service. You ain't got no service and you getting phone calls. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the freak? Like, what the freak? Like, I thought when you ain't got no service, you ain't got no service. You feel me? No phone calls. You can't get no phone calls. You can't, you know what I mean? Call nobody. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it said unknown caller again. This time
just
I
answer.
hesitated.
Answer right quick.
I picked it up, stepped out into the hallway, and answered. Again, nothing. But this time, after about 5 seconds, I heard a whisper. Very soft, so quiet I could barely make it out. It said, "Don't answer the phone in the bedroom." Then the line went dead. I stood there, frozen, heart pounding. The house was dead silent.
Don't answer the phone in the bedroom.
The windows, all closed. Nobody was outside, and there was no sign of forced entry. My first thought was that someone had pranked me. It's what anyone would think. Maybe one of the other crew guys was messing with me, but no one else knew I was there that early. And again, I had no signal. I checked my phone. 1 bar, then...
Oh, you got service?
Like it flickered in and out of existence. I tried calling my supervisor, but the call failed. I decided to finish the job quickly. I started boxing up loose items in the living room. Books, figurines, dusty glassware. But the whole time, I felt off. Like I was being watched.
Yeah.
I kept glancing toward the hallway, half expecting to see someone standing down there. Then the phone rang a 3rd time. But not my phone. The rotary phone in the bedroom. I heard it from across the house.
Hey man, that call just said don't answer that in the bedroom now. You know what I'm saying? It just said it. Said don't answer the call in the bedroom. You know what I'm saying? So don't go to that bedroom and answer that call. You just heard what that nigga just said on the other line now.
A shrill, mechanical ring that echoed through the rooms. That
I ain't gonna lie, right when right when the nigga said that, right when the nigga would have said that, bro, I'm out. F the job, bro. I don't give a damn how much that job paying. I'll do another house, but I'm not doing this house. You want the house done so bad, you come and do it. I ain't doing it.
The line was disconnected.
I would have been out.
No dial tone.
I ain't gonna lie to you, I think I gotta charge on my phone, but I would have been out. That's just me, personally. You know what I'm saying? I don't care about all that money junk and all that. Supervisor, if you want this house to be done, you come out here and do it. You know, I'm gonna tell but she can't tell her I mean, yeah, you can. Frick is you talking about? You know what I'm saying? Even though you ain't got no service, shoot, we go and just drive away, go and get up out of here. You know what I'm saying? Head to talk to the supervisor. We ain't got to talk to the supervisor over the phone. We can talk to the supervisor in person. You know what I'm saying? On my live. You know what I mean? Talk to the supervisor, tell her what's going on. It's some weird stuff going on in that crib, and I would not step foot back in that crib. And if you want that junk, if you want it done, you go do it. And if I get fired, so be it.
And no service.
So be it.
But yet it rang like an old-fashioned bell. I walked
so the freak
down
be
the
it.
hallway toward the bedroom, phone still in my hand. It rang again and again. I stepped into the doorway. The phone sat on the nightstand.
They said don't answer the phone in the bedroom.
Trembling slightly with each ring. There was no chance I was picking up that phone. The rings eventually stopped. I backed out of the room. I wanted to leave, but part of my job was securing the property. I still had to check the basement.
F that job.
I almost said screw it, but something made me keep going. Maybe it was pride. Maybe I just didn't want to admit how scared I was. The basement door was in the kitchen. I opened it slowly.
You going to the basement?
The stairs creaked as I stepped down.
Heck no. No, you got a nigga messed up. You got a nigga messed up think I'm going down. No, nigga said, nigga going to the basement, bro? Oh, heck no. Got me messed up, boy. I think I'm finna go in that basement.
The basement door was in the kitchen.
Tweaking.
I opened it slowly.
No, you tweaking.
The stairs creaked as I stepped down, flashlight in hand. I smelled mold and something like rust. There were shelves along the wall, filled with old paint cans and some broken furniture. In the back corner, there was a small table. On it, a cordless phone, a newer model.
Another phone?
It was gray plastic and covered in dust, and next to it, a stack of yellowed notebooks. I picked one up and flipped through it. Each page had a name and a date and a short sentence. Lena H., July 3rd, 2019. Rang once, didn't answer. Carl M., September 12th, 2019. Picked up, warned him. It was more like this, dozens of entries. I dropped the notebook, and my heart felt like it completely dropped out of my body as I looked around the basement, fearing I wasn't alone down there, and that someone was watching me from any corner in the darkness. I rushed back up the stairs, looking behind me the whole time, heart in my throat. I didn't finish the job. I drove straight back to the office and turned in my report. I didn't tell them everything. I just said the property was unsafe and possibly had squatters or interference. They reassigned the job to another crew. 2 days later, I got a text from one of the other guys, Mark. He'd gone out there that morning to finish the job. I hadn't told him specifically what happened.
Should've told him, bro.
His message said, "The phone in the bedroom with no service rang while I was in there. What the hell?" I called his work cell phone immediately, and he told me he didn't answer the phone in the house because he was too freaked out. The next day, Mark apparently quit without notice and never returned to work.
Yeah, real talk, bro. You know what I'm saying? That tell me right there, you don't give a dang about us, bro. You know what I'm saying? No one person needs to go out there. Nah, I mean, simple as that. If you hearing that the environment is unsafe, if you hearing that that is unsafe, why is one person going out there for? You know what I'm saying? One person doesn't need to go out there. A whole crew needs to go out there. You know what I mean? We have a weirdo on the loose, for sure. It would have been just like Mark, quitting on the spot without notice.
He's not dead or anything. I admittedly looked him up on Facebook eventually, and he posted stuff since then. But I never spoke to him again. I don't know what else he saw in the house, but it must have been something bad enough for him to want to distance himself from this job.
Heck yeah.
My boss did call the police to report the potential squatters after Mark quit, but they found nobody inside of the house. Everything about that house, from its location to its eerie, dilapidated interior, to the phone calls to my cell phone, and that voice on that line, and that damn house phone ringing. It's like I found myself in a legitimate horror movie. I swear it had to be one of two things: an elaborate sick prank or an equally elaborate trap.
Some, bro, some. Ain't like it was some. How'd you answer that phone, though? Shoot.
This happened in 2019. I was in my late 20s, living alone in a rental house in a quiet neighborhood on the edge of town. It wasn't a fancy place, just an older one-story house with creaky floors, thin walls, and a small backyard. But it was cheap, and it came with a basement, which I used to store extra furniture and tools and stuff.
Hey man, cheap ain't always the best way. That's why I need to tell a lot of y'all, cheap is not always the best way. You know what I mean? Sometimes you gotta get what your money's worth, man. Sometimes you gotta spend that money, man. You know what I mean? To get something half decent. Cheap is not always the best way. Because if it's cheap, something wrong with it. I don't care what you're talking about. If you looking at this house, man, it's too good to be true. If that thought pop up in your head, man, it's too good to be true, nigga, run. If it's nice as heck and it's cheap, like this right, this a nice spot. Me looking at it, nice spot. know what I mean? You know, I'm not saying it should be cheap, but if it's like cheap, I ain't gonna lie. I remember I did a freaking scary video, bro. It was in Japan. It was in Japan. I ain't gonna lie. It was one of the scariest videos. I ain't gonna lie. It was a scary video, bro. I ain't gonna lie. The dude rented out a spot. I don't think he rented out a spot, but I think he was finna rent it out. It was a nice spot. I'm talking about y'all, nice spot. The way it looked, bro, you would think it was like $1,600 a month, bro. You would think that junk close to $2,000 a month. The way that junk looked, that junk was nice. It looked like a condo, an apartment, or something. But it was nice as heck. Guess how much that junk was going for? It was going for like $900 a month. I think $800, $900 a month. And I was like, oh heck no! I already knew when I heard the price, something wrong with that house. So guess what, bro? And nigga went into the house, he didn't even see it. Just a black shadow just standing there just watching him right there. And then guess what? When he turned his head, it was gone. He didn't even see it. Black shadow just standing right there just looking at him. Just looking at him.
I moved in that spot.
I don't give a damn what if you see a nice spot, bro, if you see a nice spot and it's nice as heck, and it's just like, man, it's too good to be true, don't move into the house, bro.
And for the first few months, nothing strange happened. The house had its quirks. Some pipes.
It's a reason why it's you know what I mean, it's cheap, bro.
Cabinet that always swung open on its own, but nothing unusual for a place that old.
Nigga, what? It's a kitchen cabinet that swung open on its own, but nothing unusual. That seems very unusual.
It was this one kitchen cabinet that always swung open on its own, but nothing unusual for a place that old. The only part I didn't like was the basement. The door was in the hallway next to the bathroom. It was heavy and stuck a little when you opened it, and the light switch for the basement was actually halfway down the stairs, which meant you had to walk down a few steps in total darkness before you could reach it. The first time I went down there, I honestly felt weird. Not scared exactly, but uneasy. The single bulb didn't do much to light the corners, and the whole place smelled like old wood. But I didn't have any reason to be down there for long, so I stored my things, shut the door, and didn't think much of it. That changed around late October. I had just gotten home from work. I'm a night shift security guard, so I usually get home around 3 a.m., and I was heading to the bathroom before bed when I heard something. It sounded like a faint knock. 3 soft taps. It came from behind the basement door. I froze in place. At first, I thought maybe I imagined it. Maybe
we go with maybe, bro. You ain't imagining that, bro. I ain't gonna cap. We ain't imagining it, bro. You know what I'm saying? How you imagining it? Nigga, you just heard 3 knocks at the door and you imagining it, bro? I swear niggas just be trying to be delusional. Niggas do not be they don't be want to believe it for real. I'm just imagining. Nigga, you imagine 3 knocks at your door? You ain't never heard it before. You ain't never imagined it then. But now you just imagine, nah, nigga, you heard what you heard. You heard them 3 knocks at that door. You heard what you heard. You ain't tripping.
I froze in place. At first, I thought maybe I imagined it.
Maybe
it was the pipes or the house settling. But as I stood there, holding my breath, I heard it again.
I'm out.
3 distinct knocks. I backed up a few steps and stared at the door, and then I waited. There was just silence now. I remember whispering to myself, it's just the house, even though I didn't really believe it. I didn't open the door. I went to my bedroom, locked the door, and stayed awake for the next 2 hours.
I ain't gonna cap, bro. We had to open that door. I ain't gonna cap. Would've went straight to the room, got the pipe, but I had to open that door. I'm gonna keep it G with you. We gotta open that door, man. Ain't gonna lie, I can't go to sleep, bro, knowing I heard a knock. I gotta search the whole basement. That's just me. You know what I'm saying? That's just me. I gotta search the crib. If I hear something around, like even now, if I hear something around, I gotta search the whole crib, but with pipe in my hand, I gotta do it. I can't sleep comfortably, bro, knowing I heard these 3 knocks on my door. Knowing I heard this, now I gotta make sure it's the house. I gotta make sure it's the pipes, nigga.
Listening.
What you talking about?
Eventually, I fell asleep with the TV on. The next morning...
Ooh, that's how you know a nigga scared. When a nigga sleep with a TV on, that's how you know that nigga scared.
Eventually, I fell asleep with the TV on. The next morning, I checked the basement. I opened the door, went down the stairs, and turned on the light. Everything was exactly the way I left it. No signs of anyone having been down there.
Search everything.
No footprints in the dust, no broken windows. I convinced myself it had to be the house shifting, or
search
maybe
everything.
A small animal that got in somehow. I moved on. But a few nights later, it happened again. This time, I was in the bathroom brushing my teeth when I heard the knock.
Oh.
Not 3 taps this time, just 1. but it was loud and it was close, like someone had used their knuckles hard against the basement door. I opened the bathroom door and looked. The basement door was closed. Nothing moved. The hallway was quiet. I walked over and put my ear against the wood. At first, I heard nothing, but then, very faint, I heard what sounded like breathing. Slow, steady, as if someone was standing on the other side, waiting. I backed away and went to my room, again locking the door. I called my landlord. I told him something strange was going on in the basement, that I thought someone had maybe gotten into the house somehow. He seemed skeptical, but said he'd come by to check it out.
Shoot through the door.
When he arrived in the morning, we both went down into the basement together. He looked around, checked the windows, the walls, even the foundation. Nothing was damaged or broken.
Shoot through the door.
No signs of a break-in or animals. I didn't say anything. I couldn't explain what I was hearing, and I didn't want to sound crazy. For the next week, things were quiet. I started to think that maybe I was just overtired or imagining things. I was working too much after all. But then, one night around 2 a.m., I was sitting on my couch watching TV when I heard the basement door creak. Not a knock or slam, but a creak, like it was slowly swinging open. I sat up straight and turned off the volume. I could hear it. The slow, grinding creak of the hinges moving. I got up and peeked down the hallway, and the basement door was wide open. I hadn't opened it in over a week. I hadn't even touched it. I grabbed a flashlight and slowly walked toward it. I didn't have a weapon, but I had no choice. I had to know what was going on. I stood at the top of the stairs and shined the light down. The basement was pitch black. The bulb wasn't on. I reached around the corner and flicked the switch. Nothing. It was dead. The bulb must have burned out. That's when I heard footsteps coming up the stairs. They weren't rushing, they were slow, but they were 100% footsteps. I backed away. My hands were shaking. I slammed the door shut and held the handle tight. For a moment, I felt the pressure of something on the other side, like it was leaning against the door. Then it stopped. I locked the door and called the police. I told them someone was in my basement. They showed up about 10 minutes later, and 2 officers cleared the house and went down into the basement. I stood in the front yard, waiting, and after what felt like forever, they came back up. They said they didn't find anyone. No signs of forced entry or—
I'm starting to think it's on some paranormal junk. That's what I'm resorting to, bro. I'm resorting to the paranormal, nigga. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm looking at. Your junk must be haunted or something, gang. Nigga, you going down there, you ain't seeing nothing, bro. You know what I'm saying? Did you call your landlord? He ain't see nothing. Did you call the cops? They ain't see nothing, and it just happened. Yeah, bro, your junk haunted, nigga. Your junk is haunted. That's all I gotta say. Your junk haunted, nigga.
Or anyone hiding.
Get the freak up out of
Nothing was even disturbed.
Get the freak up out of
One of them even tried to laugh it off, asking if I'd been watching scary movies. I knew what I heard. After they left, I didn't go back inside right away.
I'm gonna freak out.
I stood there staring at that house. Finally, I went back in, locked every door and window, and stayed up until the sun came up. That morning, I bought a padlock and installed it on the basement door. I didn't care if it was allowed or not. I needed it. For the next month, the basement stayed quiet. No sounds or knocks or anything. I almost let myself relax. Then one night, I got home from work and noticed the basement door was open. Not just unlocked, the padlock was lying on the floor, broken.
Yeah.
The door itself was slightly ajar.
You freak out.
I hadn't touched that door in weeks.
Freak out.
I stood there staring at it, and for the first time, I realized something. Every time this had happened, every noise and every knock, it had always happened at night when I was alone. I did not go down. I couldn't. I packed a bag, left the house, and
Freak
stayed
out.
at a friend's place for a few days.
Freak out.
When I came back, I literally nailed the basement door shut. I even wedged a chair against the door.
Hey, my bro.
I didn't—
Going to get the freak out the crib, though, gang. You know what I'm saying? F all that trying to stay in that crib. I don't give a damn how cheap it is. I don't give a damn how good the deal is. F all that, bro. Get the freak out the crib, G.
didn't care if the landlord got mad. I just couldn't look at that door anymore. A few nights later, around 3 a.m., I was laying in bed when I heard a sound that I still can't explain. It was a voice. It wasn't loud. It wasn't even someone speaking. like the barely audible sound of a rumble of someone's vocal cords. It came from somewhere beneath the floorboards, directly under my bed. That was it. I called the police again. They showed up, did their search, and nothing turned up again. So I packed everything, minus the stuff in the basement, and I left. I didn't even wait for the lease to end. I don't know what was in that basement. I don't want to know. All I can say is that sometimes when I lie awake at night in my new apartment, I think about all this, and I wonder if I'd waited just a little longer, what would have come up those steps?
Man, appreciate everybody, man, for joining the stream, man. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna lie, I never get a lot of viewers in the chat, bro. You know what I'm saying? When I react to scary vids, man. I never do. You know what I'm saying? Ever do. You feel me? But it don't even be that scary. It just be interesting. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna keep it real with you. You know what I'm saying? But I appreciate everybody, man, for joining the stream, man. Honestly, man, you know, we stream every single day, chat. Every single day, man. So I appreciate everybody for joining the stream, man. You know what I'm saying? Hey, bro. You say you take any supplements before the gym? I don't take any supplements, man. I just box, man. I ain't gonna lie. Box, drink water, workout. That's all I do. You know what I'm saying? Just keeping it real with y'all. Box, workout. It's nothing, bro. I don't take no protein shakes. You know what I mean? People complicate. All you really gotta do, bro, is just work out, bro. Stretch, though. I ain't gonna lie. I feel like stretching is really important. A lot of people don't do stretch. I stretch every day. You know what I mean? So that's what I do. Stretch, drink water, work out. You know what I mean? That's it, bro. You know what I'm saying? But I appreciate everybody for joining the stream. Like I said, if y'all join late, every freaking reaction will be uploaded, you know what I mean, to YouTube. You know what I'm saying? It's your boy Jay. Take it easy for the like, your boy Jay out, man. Yeah.